Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. Happy Monday, happy Monday. How are you? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Because, girl, your money matters. Listen, we are here in live and in color. I want to thank Paulette of Y, as well as DJ Tony Sanchez with the Eye of the Storm. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. Listen, it is Monday. It is the first day of the work week. And let me tell you, they have got their 15 hours out of me today. They got some and then some. So listen, first of all, allow me to introduce myself. I am the Nicole Johnson. I'm the founder and CEO of B&B Business Services, which turned into my baby of Girl, Your Money Matters, affectionately known as the gym, where we have all sorts of financial exercises to help you get financially fit. Yes. So tonight's topic is, if budgeting is so essential, why do so many people hate it? Mm. It got real quiet in here. Why do so many people hate it? So let me start with my own personal experience. The main reason I hated doing a budget was because nobody taught me how.
That part.
No, it's like, Nicole, go in the kitchen and make some gravy. Baby, ain't nobody taught me how to make gravy. I need you to give me a little bit more instruction and telling me to go in the kitchen and do it. Okay. And a budget is no different. So that's one of the most important things that I hear from people, is that nobody taught me how to do a budget. And so as adults that's like telling me as an adult to try to learn how to do trigonometry. Baby, I'd rather just shoot somebody. I ain't finna play with that stuff. I ain't finna play with that mess. So the lack of knowledge, the lack of knowledge is what that's the biggest reason. Okay. But you know what the other thing is? And DJ Tony, I want to hear from you, but from a female perspective, a budget doesn't lie. So when you put one together, it shows you where all your failures are when it comes to money management. Would you agree with that, DJ Tony? Is that the same thing for guys? They don't want to see the black and white. They don't want to see where they dropping the ball.
Yeah, first and foremost, let me say good evening to everybody, man. Uh Paulette, love you, boo. That's my bookie, boo. That's my bookie, boo. But listen. I understand your plight, Nicole, when you gave your personal experience of that. But for me, I come from a different time, a different era, so I was taught how to budget because, like I told y'all, I was raised in a house of all women. So
Mm-hmm.
I watched them manage money, budget money,
Okay.
how to keep money, certain money. Because my grandmama always had a stuff away job that granddaddy didn't know nothing about. You feel what I'm saying?
I
So,
hear you.
but for me, I was giving examples of budget, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to sacrifice.
Mm.
That's a personal sacrifice when you budget, because you got to give up all them little things that you like to do, and that costs money. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I get
So,
it.
so for me, it was, look, man, I can go back to that budget later, but I'm finna spend this money right now because I got it. You know what I'm saying? I got
So
it, and I'm just being real,
no,
and that's
and
how
that's what I appreciate.
we help one another. It wasn't like I wasn't taught how to budget. It just I chose not to sacrifice to budget. You know
That's
what I'm
good,
saying?
Tony. That's good. So let me ask you this. So when did you actually start budgeting?
When I started budgeting is when my first child was born. That slapped me in a taste of reality, that I understood that now that my life ain't no longer mine. It belonged to my child.
Right.
So now I got to budget. What I like to do, See, that's when I quickly realized and learned the difference between wants and needs.
Oh, come on, DJ Tony. Come on,
That's when I
G.
learned right there. Cause see, parenthood don't come with no instructions, and it definitely costs.
Hey, that's okay. Tony, listen, your input as always is definitely invaluable because that is a different perspective from someone who actually was given the tools, who made a conscious decision not to use the tools and justified it in their own mind, right? But people do that all the time.
Absolutely. And
People
that's
do
just
it
being
every
true.
day.
That's just being real. So
Mhm.
until we break that cycle within self,
Right.
because we got to internalize all of that. Whatever you do outside of yourself, it starts with internally with yourself.
That's it. That's it. And the fact that the birth of your first child was the incentive. It was the incentive, it was the eye opener that if I want to be a good parent, if I want to make sure I provide for my child, I've got to stop. I can't do all the stuff that I used to do. I can't go all the places that I used to go. I can't buy all the things that I used to buy all willy nilly because it's not about me anymore.
Right.
And so that's Tony grew up.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to continue to be my own liability.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So you have someone like me, and I grew up in a household full of women. It was just my stepfather, but he was in control of the money. My mother was not. And after a while, she wasn't working. And so that was how he pulled the strings with her. Don't nobody want you. You ain't got nothing. You can't go nowhere. So she felt stuck in a place where she couldn't do anything to save her family, her children, and herself because he controlled the purse. Right. So I didn't see her budget. I had no idea what that was about. My grandmother, on the other hand, baby, that lady could make $1 out of 15 cents. My grandmother was at the grocery store using those check registers that I refuse to use today. Okay. But she never explained to me the benefit of a budget, what it meant for her to write all those transactions. I just thought she was wasting time. Okay. So Paulette, what has been your experience when it comes to that little old dirty B word?
Well, let's put it like this. Oh Lord, have mercy. Jesus. Well, well, so what had happened was, hmm, I grew up in a household where my parents budgeted together every Monday morning over coffee at 5 a.m. They planned the grocery store budget. They planned the budget for the bills in the house. They planned everything. They sat down. You knew when the budgeting was going on because you smelled the coffee. Because my mother had one of them old percolators, right? You remember that? Where it
Yep,
would,
yep,
yeah,
yep.
you could see it. Yeah. So she would make the coffee, and my dad would only drink coffee if it was in the saucer. And so I'm remembering the paper in between them because she sat on one end, he sat at the head of the table. Y'all remember that? And they would discuss the budget. How much money? Because see, they had a business, they had a trucking business, and so how much money was for the food for the week? And what she did was, my mom even went so far as to budget. And when I say budget, I mean she wrote out like every meal we were going to have because there was no eating out. You know what I mean? Like you ate whatever she cooked, or you wasn't gonna eat, or you were gonna starve, and
Make it
wasn't
to the
no
next
going in and out
meal.
that refrigerator in between time either. Because what we was on a what budget? Not going there, and if you go in there, you better make yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Hello, that was the rule. We ate at 6 p.m. and dishes were done, and bedtime was at a specific time, and that helped to keep them sane, I think, and I absolutely understand that. And so now that I'm grown, and I have a family of my own, I find myself budgeting every week using the back of an envelope. It is the craziest thing, but that's how they did it. And it works. And so I know one of the things that you actually say in your private group, Nicole, is don't pay your bills based on the due date. Pay your bills based on your pay date. And I have been following that mantra for years. It doesn't matter when it's due. Did I get paid today? Is every bill paid? No, that Capital One bill need to be paid. No, XYZ need to be paid. So that's what gets paid based upon my pay date. And so that's one. I had at one time, I was using every dollar, and I was budgeting my money that way so I could identify exactly where all my money was going. Y'all, I don't know if anybody has ever used that app. It was the best thing for me because, and I actually paid for the subscription, so I would get the reminders, and it would pay a bill or two for, you know what I mean? And so it was really, really cool. So do I budget now? Child, listen, I fell off the wagon. Oh, there we go. Because there's so much going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm running a business, and now I will tell you this: we look at numbers every morning. I know what's coming in and what's going out. What's going out? Oh God!
And that list is usually longer than what's coming in.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. And so you have to learn how to separate the two, right? So while you're building your business and looking for the resources to come in, you have to figure out how that's going to pay for this and how you're going to continue to keep things separate and not, cross while the business is growing. So it's been a challenge, but I try my best to budget. I pretty much know what every bill is going to be every month, and I can make a dollar holla. Do you hear me? When it comes to them groceries, listen. I can make a
maximize couponing, baby. You gonna be.
So the places that I shop, let me school y'all real quick. So the places that I shop don't accept coupons because everything already pennies on the dollar as a TIE.
All right. But you know what? Something you just said, Paulette, is eye-opening for a lot of people, mainly because one, people think that they got to pay when the bill is due.
Right.
They don't always believe in paying early, but let's talk about it. You got the light bill, the gas bill, the phone bill, the rent or the mortgage, the car note, car insurance. That's 5 or 6 bills right there. You don't get paid 5 or 6 times, right?
Right.
So that means you're chasing due dates around versus just paying as the pay periods hit.
Right.
So budgeting is tedious when you don't have a process. What I tell you already, the strategy is tedious when you don't have a strategy, right? You have to do what makes sense. So your parents wrote on the back of an envelope. I actually write in a spiral notebook. Okay. And I tell anybody who's new to budgeting, please don't start with an app. And the reason that is, come on, Tony, come on.
Okay. Wow. And he pulls it out. There you go.
Really, because hand and eye coordination means a whole lot. And once you type it in the app and the app is controlling things, you might not always remember. So it's best to start with pen and paper, go the old-fashioned way, and then graduate to an app, right? There are certain bills that I have on auto pay. So I know, like, boom, that's coming out on it. But even though it's on auto pay, I still get an alert. Your payment will be processed. Your payment has processed. I still get alerts. Okay. And that's for convenience for myself, but it's budgeted within whatever the pay period is. Okay. So you find what works best. And the only way to find what works best is to start. Got to start somewhere. So your budget, and this is what I tell anybody, if you're driving from Georgia to Florida or Florida to Illinois or North Dakota to Wyoming, you need a roadmap, right?
Yep, you do.
You got to have a map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Even if there's a detour that takes you off and back around the back road, the service road, you still have a map to get you back on track to get you to your destination, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what your budget is. Your budget is a tool to tell your money where to go. Look at it like that. So if you have the tool in the toolbox, you may as well use it, right? Because it's to your advantage. So, but I know as women, we get, and this is one of the things that over the next, throughout the month of November, we're going to talk about this a lot, is fear. We're going to talk about how fear impacts us so heavily that it can keep us locked in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I look at people and listen to what they have to say about using their budget or not using their budget, they're afraid, they're fearful of looking at the thing and then actually following one because it's not me. I spend how I want to. I work hard for my money. Yeah, you do. And you didn't work hard for them bills too.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So like Tony, like you said, I don't want to give up something. You know, I don't want to cut out something. Okay. But what people have to understand is you have to tailor it back. Doesn't mean you give it up forever.
Right.
You tailor it back so that you can create a what? A strategy on how to still do these things, maybe a little bit of moderation, but you can still do them, but you got to tailor back some and still do the other things that you're required to do. And when I say required, you're required to pay the light bill. You're required to pay the gas bill. You're required, because see, if you don't pay them, guess what? They go off.
You're gonna be thirsty, and it's gonna be dark.
And you're gonna be cold because the winter is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Coming. Okay, you gonna stub your toe on that steel pole in the house, up under the couch, or up under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
No lights. Okay, you won't have no lights. You can't cook. Okay, so Tony says there are two kinds of fear: healthy and scary. Yes, there is.
Right.
For me, healthy fear keeps me off of those mountaintops, parachuting and bungee jumping. That's healthy fear. Okay,
Right.
But scary fear, a lot of us are afraid to change because it brings us out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when we start talking about coming out of our comfort zone, it's more of the mindset. That's why a budget is not about the numbers on your paper. Your budget is about how do you see your money. Okay. So this is one of the things you hear me say all the time. We have to develop a new relationship with our money.
Yep, we go together.
And we go together strong.
Yes, we don't have to.
Listen, I'm keeping my eye on you for real.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't leave home without you. I'm always checking for you.
What you doing?
Listen,
where you at?
And don't nobody ask me. We can't share.
No, absolutely not. Nope, you can't.
We cannot
not at all.
Share. So it is important that we understand that we have a relationship with our money. And one of the ways I like to tell people, get your $20 bill on Monday. Go in that favorite restaurant you're going to always go to and break it. And then tell me on Friday where the rest of that change went out that $20 bill. Oh, okay. You ain't, some of y'all ain't going to wait till Friday. Tell me Friday, tell me Monday night.
How about that?
Tuesday morning.
Okay. It'll already be gone.
Already 2 hours. I can tell you in 2 hours.
And you don't know where it went. You don't have a receipt to account for it. So instead of spending $9.83, you didn't spend a whole $20 and you've lost the difference. Because you
can't even find a receipt.
Can't even find a receipt. You don't even know what you spent the $9 on. You know, I went to Panera Bread. I spent about $9 and some change. Well, where's the receipt? I don't know.
Right.
You did. Okay. So that is where We have to shift the process, the strategy, the technique. And in
Mhm.
order to do that, I have to look at my money differently. So
Mhm.
when Tony said it was his first child being born, that helped him realize he can't go to boys' night Tuesdays and Thursdays and Friday and Saturday. He might be able to kick it on Friday,
Maybe.
maybe
Yeah.
only on the first Friday or the second Friday. But I can't do all 4 Fridays, and we definitely can't do all 4 days in a week.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay. But once he did that, he had to realize what he was spending out on boys' night, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. He
Mhm.
had to turn around and say, where do I allocate those funds now?
Right.
Right. So how do, if you break a big bill, it's gone. Tamika better say that. Tamika has taken over Stephen, her husband's profile. When they were trying to separate it, he
Don't
was
that
like,
say Steven?
yeah, it say Steve, but that's Tamika because Stephen don't
Give
even
a
be
shout
on
out to my
social media.
not alone.
But you know, it's you have to reallocate.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
the same thing as when you have that car note. You spend $200 a month for a car for 3 years. You still been spending $200, but now the car note is paid off. Where do you allocate that $200? Right? We got to account for our money. So once we start looking, it's not free money.
Damn.
I'm gonna say that one more time for those in the back. It's not free money.
Mm.
It has to get rerouted to someplace else in the B word, in the B word, in the budget. Okay. So when you look at your process and your strategy, that is how you start breaking down the things that you haven't been doing. But I want to say something because each one of us talked about how we learned about money as a child.
Mm.
There's a correlation there. And this is why I like to work with women, especially when they have children. I want to help you break the habits that you have because you are teaching your children whether you see whether you sit down with it or not. So let me give you an example. My cousin went to a party and she took her granddaughter. Mia is probably 3. Okay. So somebody at the party said something to Mia. Oh, your dress, your little tutu is cute. Can I have it? She said, no, but you can go to Walmart and buy you one. Mia 3. Somebody else said something to her and she just spit fire. And my cousin said, Nikki, where'd she get that from? I said, her mama. My cousin, the daughter, she can throw shade with the best palm tree in the world, and she quick with it. Like you'll sit there and say something, and before you know it, she be the sliced, diced, and walked away. You don't even know you could.
That's
You
the
don't
gift.
even know.
That's the gift of gas.
And so she be telling her, she'll tell my cousin, Ma, I can't stand it. She do that. She said, I can't stand it. You do it. She said, so if you're not careful how you talk around her, she will continue to say the things that you say. And she gonna be better with it because out of the mouths of babes. They don't know what they say. And mama say it all the time. So when you have bad money habits, women, when we get mad, what's the first thing we do? We go on shopping.
Shoes. Gotta go get some
Okay?
new shoes.
Going shopping. Okay, them shoes. I see you. So Tamika says she saw a lot of Robin Peter to pay Paul growing up. Okay, where that saying come from? I don't even know who is Peter or Paul. You understand what I'm saying? Them the names from the Bible that I know. They was disciples. They was robbing them then back then. You see what I'm saying? So
That's
that's
brother. That's
old,
my brothers.
right? Okay, but that's what we learned. We get mad, we go shopping, we go eat. We gonna hang out with the girls. We venting. The girls coming over for a girls' night. We drinking. Your children are watching. Even if you say, well, you know what, this isn't a good habit. Why it's not a good habit, mama? And you do it every Friday night and Saturday and twice on Monday and Tuesday. I mean, what are we doing? So if you don't change the trajectory of what you're doing, you can't be mad about what your kids do because you taught them. You taught them. And so this is why I love having the Brownstone Worldwide and this platform to be able to share, because this is our opportunity to change the narrative of Black and brown people. So in 50 years, if the narrative is not right, we failed. We failed because we either didn't participate in writing it, or we didn't correct it when it was wrong. And I'm going to go even further and say we contributed to it being wrong. We contributed to it being wrong. So changing how you deal with your money, it comes from somebody saying, hey, we got to break this habit. But the reason that we get so scared, especially as women, because we got to look at where we failed. In order to fix the things that are wrong, we got to look at them. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. We got to listen. I done burned dinner. I got the kids to school late and they got their lip poked out and they mad because they didn't miss the morning grapes and juice. They missed the morning snack. And they mad at you because everybody talked about how sweet the grapes are and they ain't had not none. So you done messed up their day. You done burnt up the breakfast. Now they going to school hungry. They ain't got no grapes, no juice. Now they mad because all the kids done had the grapes and now they upset. They can't focus on their work. You see how all of those things go. And by the time they come in like this, Mom, you made me late with school. Baby, that was 7 hours ago. Cut it loose and let it free. Okay? But they keep it. So now they done had a whole bad day. Now they got an attitude when they come in your presence. The boss that made you mad, the spouse that made you mad, the nut that cut you off in traffic that made you mad. All these different things going through your head. You getting them to practice. Now you got to get them home. Now you got to help with homework. Now you got to get them a bath. Now you got to get them to bed. The last thing I want to do is look at some numbers on a piece of paper that show me I got an NSF fee. I got an overdraft fee. And you know what? That check that I wrote 2 weeks ago ain't came through yet. So if it come through today or tomorrow, I'm still going to have another. You understand? So we keep functioning. Paulette loves when I say this. We keep functioning in our dysfunction because it's comfortable.
Yes, it is.
It's comfortable. Right? Paulette, Tony, let me say this. I listened to Morning Manna, and my Morning Manna pastor said, even dogs return to their vomit because it's comfortable.
Ouch.
They know. When I take my dog out to the doggy park, she goes sniffing around for the spot that she marked the last time she was there. And that's where she looks to use the bathroom. She got to sniff it out. I'm like, what are you doing? And then I remember she was there yesterday. So that's the place she goes back to.
Wow.
Is it making sense?
It does. Absolutely.
So in order to start functioning with a budget, I got to get uncomfortable. I can't eat out every week or every day or whatever my habit is. Now I got to cook. And I don't feel like cooking. I hate to cook. I like them chicken wings over there at Ching Chong Chong. I like those.
Oh.
I get my wings over there at the Chinese shop. Okay. That's what it is. That's what it is. I like the fried rice. I want the wings. I don't want to cook. It's Tamika didn't even told me how to make the oxtails. You think I done made them yet?
You haven't made any?
I'd rather go to her house and get some.
Okay.
Okay. And she just said the familiar can be dangerous to where you're trying to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, because it'll keep you from where you're trying to go.
Joel Osteen said, you will continue to have the test until you pass.
That's right. Amen.
Think about it. If you pass the 9th grade, what you gonna do?
Repeat it.
And if you don't pass it again this year, what you gonna do?
Repeat it.
Okay. Until
That's right.
No, they're gonna pass you out of there if you get too old. You got to get up out of here.
You gonna get put out, but you still
will get up out of here.
You still will not have passed the 9th grade. No. You will get put out of school.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, and we can't get put out of life, but when we approach it that way, okay, when we approach it with, and let me say this, we wonder where our kids today get this entitlement disposition. What the teacher say at school, if they came to school and did, they must have learned it somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now,
it's hard to say now with technology.
now I will say, things have changed. We are not like
Mhm.
they are not us with our ancestors. Okay,
Mhm.
it's a lot. There's a lot of things. They have a lot of things that are commanding their attention and where they're getting their resources from. So
Yeah.
yes, I 100% agree. But if you are not more diligent in what you're teaching them, somebody gonna teach them.
Yes, right.
Something is going to teach them. So we have to shift our mindset so that we can, do things differently. Tamika says, I'm tired of going around these same mountains. And you know what? Here's what I know: in order to break the cycle, there has to be something that happens or transpires in your life that makes you say, this is enough.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, sometimes it's something traumatic.
Yeah.
It's a huge goal. Okay. For Tony, it was the birth of his child. Okay. For some people, it's bankruptcy. For some people, it's I need to build a business, but I keep getting denied credit. For me, it was time to buy a house. And I had to learn how to do a budget because nobody would teach me. They would tell me I needed one, but they wouldn't teach me. If you're not going to teach me, don't tell me what I need, because that don't do nothing but piss me off.
No. Well, this is a good thing because now you got me more interested in proving you wrong.
And that, see, Tony, that's rare though.
Yeah, I know.
But for me, that's what it did.
I know.
What the Whitney Houston song said, tell me no, and
Look,
I'll show you I can.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna
I'm
prove
gonna
you
show you,
wrong.
then I can tell you. So for me, it was a driving factor, right? But for some, it's more discouragement, and it keeps them
It can be crushing. Yeah.
Yep. So the stories that I hear, I got to this one place and got knocked off my square, and now I'm still there sitting on the ground. You understand? So one of the things that I tell them is that your why has to be so strong and personal that nothing will get in the way of you accomplishing that goal. Tony said, my son, what is your first one a son? I just assumed.
Yeah, my first one was a son. Yeah.
My son. That's my seed. Tony looked at that baby and went, that's mine right there.
Couldn't deny
it. Okay. And ain't nothing gonna get in the way of making sure that he has everything he needs and about 2 or 3 more of his wants. Okay. So that meant that why was so strong. Tony gave all he got to make sure his son was provided for.
And that's that personal sacrifice.
That's
what
it.
you got to commit to.
That's it.
Personal sacrifice.
So when we start looking at budgets, it's not about the numbers. It's about what we're trying to accomplish. And if you and I, Tamika, if we don't run for our goals, who will? Tamika has she's got a talent that I just sit back and be like, you did that. You did that. She does balloon art. Okay. So she creates arches and beautiful decor for celebrations. Baby, if I blow up a balloon right and tie the knot right, that's a major accomplishment for me. Okay, but she can have it twisting and a turning and the color coordinations and all the different types of balloons and whether this get hot air, helium. I'm like, girl, who got time for that? But if Tamika did not spend the time to study her craft and make these beautiful creations, I wouldn't know about it. People in Birmingham would not be using her services and they would be missing out on her gift. But in order for her to put those things together and say, Nicole, this is what it's going to cost you to use this balloon arch or whatever for your event, she had to put a budget together for what she could spend out of pocket to turn around and turn a profit. Y'all see how that works? Because otherwise, she just breaking even, and basically she just got an expensive hobby, and we ain't hobbying for a living.
No,
You better say that again. Okay.
Right.
We is not.
Yeah, that one. I'm not hobbying no more.
We not. We got Hobby Lobby. Let Hobby Lobby hobby.
Yes. Amen. Yes. Absolutely.
So I want to take this time to have a station break and thank Paulette again for her vision and her visionary for the Brownstone Worldwide, to give us a platform to talk about love and marriage with Marshawn Olanier, who comes on right after this. And then DJ Tony, who's out there spinning it up for us, because you best believe we learn a lot. A lot happens through music, whether it's worship, whether it's relaxation, whether it's romance, whether it's kicks and giggles, and remembering back when we used to do the double Dutch butts coming down the street, moving pretty fast. Come on and shuffle your feet. You know, music can bring back memories, can remind you of loved ones who are not here. One of the most beautiful songs is the theme song for Beaches.
Yeah.
Like that thing right there. I don't care how many times I watch it. I need clean necks. Okay. Yeah. And when we get to the end, I done snotted all through it. So, you know, music brings back memory. It takes you back. It can take you forward. Like when I was a certain age and music took me to this point. But again, it is all about being able to Tamika talking about get in the car. Hey, listen, y'all don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna do it.
I was with you, good dog.
Hey, Tony, look. Don't want to bump no more.
No big fat woman.
Why you after my heart when you did that one? Don't
listen, I was just over there listening. Only the other slave. Distracted.
My boys, that's my favorite group, man.
The grandmother's house. Come on now, come on.
Okay. All KCCR right. KCCR break. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Go ahead, Paulette.
Oh my goodness, that was my song back then. That meant somebody was frying chicken in my grandmother's kitchen whenever that song came on. Listen, but you know what? I just needed to bring this up because I have to sit back and say, in terms of budgeting and stuff like that, I can recall some of the sacrifices that my parents made and my grandmother made. And it's a lot of the things that I do now. When we're talking about, when somebody said, y'all cutting up. Yes, y'all better come over. Hey, you better get, okay, so listen, I can recall, now that we're bringing back all of these songs and stuff like that, because like you said, Nicole, this is where I learned how to manage my money. One of the things that my parents did, and my mother was notorious for this, even though they owned the business together. Oh Lord, that's not my hot. Wait a minute, we're gonna have to block this person. Hold up.
That's a different kind of music.
What's going on?
Oh Lord, don't worry about that, y'all. Don't worry about that.
What is this? This is
you should be able to click on the 3 dots and
I'm blocking them now. So
that was that's Vanity 6.
Okay.
Loving your direction.
Look at Tony. So listen, when my what I can recall was, even though my parents owned the business together, my mother literally did the grocery shopping. But y'all know how it was. You know, there were roles, mom, dad, so forth. And so what my mother did, and I still do this today, even in terms of the budgeting, one of the things that she would do was she not only did she coupon, because see, this was back in, you know, double and triple and coupon, sometimes they would even have quadruple coupon days. Now people doing all this extreme couponing and stuff. And y'all making it hard on the little man, and all we need is an extra roll of toilet tissue. We don't need everybody toilet tissue. You know what I'm saying? So y'all up in here cutting up and getting all of the baby food and stuff. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. So what my mother would do is she would go throughout our community, and I grew up in Wisconsin, about 90 miles north of where the home of the Sears Tower is. Okay, so okay, you Chicagoans, right? So what she would do is she would find all of the little agencies. So there was a program called Project Share. And then I don't know if you all were familiar with that, but if you're from the Midwest, you probably are. So Project Share was where you did 15 hours of volunteer work, and then you could get like $100 based on how many people was in your house. That's how much food. My mother had three deep freezers. Hello. And she was constantly keeping them full. Whenever there was a sale, she was constantly opening up the Sunday paper, and cutting stuff out, doing all kinds of stuff, And then I also
never run out of food.
But you know what? Here's what's funny is my kids, even to this day, in my budgeting, my rule of thumb, even though my children are grown, my daughters are not home, but my son eats for all of them. You hear me? And my grandbaby is here sometimes. And so between the two of them and me, I have to keep the refrigerator full. So what I do is I do exactly what mom did. I already know I'm not spending. Y'all ready for this? I ain't spending no more than $10 a week on food.
There you go. There you go.
Period.
There you go.
And that's real. Because I have, in the community that I live in, there are different places where you can get fresh fruits and vegetables, your farmers market, stuff like that. You can get the ugly food. Who cares that the potato got an extra eyeball? I ain't messed up about it. It's going to fry the same. Listen.
That extra eyeball off anyway.
Yes, you're going to cut it off anyway. You know what I mean? Cut it off. So what I've done is like, okay, so there's this place not far from where I live downtown where they actually sell food from Walmart. So they purchase, trucks from Walmart, and then they sell it for cheaper, and those places are all over the US. The largest amount of money that we spend outside of our bills is our grocery bill.
Absolutely.
And I have learned if I got to spend more than $10 a week, I have overspent, because again, I know exactly where to spend. There are times when I have my deep freezer full because I've made an extra purchase because it was there, and that keeps me from spending as well. So I don't know if anybody else has any. Yeah, you got to eat. That's right, Tony. And I just kind of feel like we're missing some points when we talking about, because budgeting that food and that grocery bill is so important. But when I tell you, that was one thing my mother taught me: nobody in this house is gonna go hungry. It might not be what you want to eat. When I tell you, I am Bean City. Hello, beans. Yes, you have to supplement your shopping list because that is a part of your budget. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not saying I go to churches, because that is not what I do, because I make more than enough cash to buy. I'm just not finna do it. And I know that there are things in the community to help people offset the high grocery bill. And right now, y'all, how much is butter is ridiculous. And I don't eat margarine. Butter is like $5. You know what I'm saying? One ear of corn is $2. You remember you could get $4 for $1 back in the day. Hell, come Thanksgiving, you're going to get it for 10 cents. Not no more. So we have to get creative. So Nicole, this is good. This is good. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to take over.
Because of what I want them to always get is perspective. And what we have is a panel that touches on different times. Right? So we go forward, we can go backward, we're here in the middle. We've got a variety so that something any of us says is going to touch somebody in the audience. And the goal is to make sure that the audience is getting the tips, the tips, topics, and talk that they need.
Which is up next after Marshawn.
Yes, because we've got to not just survive, we've got to thrive.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know where your money is going, you can't survive. And then if you get in survival mode only, you can't get to thriving. You cannot start thriving. So, I have people that say, I want to invest. I'm want to learn the stock market. Baby, ain't nobody got time for that. If you do, that's good for you. But I like a platform that kind of does some of it for me. Which is why I tell you guys, get in on Acorn. Sometimes that mindless stuff.
Yeah.
So helpful. This was one of the things when I first started, I had a keep away account where money went there automatically. And I saw it on the check stub and it was built into the budget. But when life starts lifing and things happen, I'm not paying attention. So what that meant is everything that was going in, nothing was coming out because I wasn't looking at it. Okay. And one day I walked past the credit union. I had to go past the credit union to get to my office inside. There was a credit union in our building. 90% of the time I went by, it was always a line. Always a line. So I never went in there. Well, one day I was like, oh, I wonder how much in there. Wasn't nobody in there. It wasn't pay week. It wasn't pay week. So I strolled on in there and got a balance there. Tear it up. Erase that. Erase. Because it had a comma in it. And I hadn't been paying attention. Okay. So that became my secondary emergency fund. Right? My secondary, see, my primary, I'm actively looking at because it goes. See, I have an account with one bank, and this bank allows you to have 26 savings accounts.
Yeah.
So Paulette got that. Why do you need that many? Because the key to having an effective budget is to label every dollar. Give every dollar a job.
Yeah.
So my car note, when I had one, was split in half. It will go into that account every pay period, so that by the time it was time to draw, the money was already there. Okay. I had some bills that were paid quarterly. Okay, how many pay periods in that quarter? I wouldn't care if it was $6.22. That's how much went into the account every paycheck.
Got it.
So that by the time they drew on that quarter, it was already there.
And it didn't hurt, did it?
$6? No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tell you my clothing purchase this past weekend that was $6, $5 and some change. Baby. Ooh, yes. It will sink some funds, Veronica. Let's go.
Y'all putting up in here, boy. Y'all putting up in here.
You have to have a strategy. And a lot of times, see, Mama now, back in the day, put the money in the mattress or down in the drawer. My great grandmother had her money pinned to her drawers.
I'm sorry, wait a minute. What?
When them big ass bobby pins.
Why? It was this big safety pin that you used to for the baby doctor.
Yeah, big bobby
pin. Her money in a sock, and she kept the sock.
She kept that sock, pinned to her drawers. Yeah. My grandmama did that because she did not like banks
and hated banks. And didn't trust folk in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. She knew her money was safe with her.
She need to know about drawing no interest, none of that.
Because you wasn't getting enough.
She was building.
The pennies.
Yeah. She was collecting.
My great grandmother died. She went to the hospital. My mama was waiting. I need to see that bobby pin sock. And the nurse brought it out, gave it to my grandmother, had almost $7,000 in it.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You heard. Okay. She kept her money pinned to her drawers. She said it's safe there. That's the one thing she know is that she know it's safe there.
All day long.
All day long.
All right, big mama.
But those are treasured moments, pearls that's meant for you later on in your life.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
So we have to find techniques or strategies that work for us, right? You got these different apps that'll, help you along the way. But if you are new, you got to remember, not everybody's not technologically inclined.
Right.
So instead, if everybody's telling me use an app, use an app, use an app, I don't use an app. I don't like those apps. I don't have that kind of phone, and I don't want that kind of phone. So what, do I not learn how to budget? No, you go back to the old fashioned pencil and paper. And see, here's this me right here. I run a tape on you in a minute.
Yeah.
No, you won't. Come on now.
I run a tape in a minute. My folk know. Nikki, get over. And she'll pull that tape up and be like, boom. And when I first started budgeting, because I'm so pencil and paper, okay, got my notebook here, I would go and take a little piece of tape and tape it right on the page.
There you go.
And I can go back to see, okay, because here's the thing. Sometimes as your bills shift, like, okay, well, 6 months ago, I wasn't paying this amount. Most people don't know what they paid 2 months ago for a bill.
Right.
You have to remember, I got notes. I got receipts. Okay. So let me just flip back in my budget journal and see what I paid then. And I got it all lined up.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes that's a better tool versus trying to sit through an app. Because what if you skip something? What if you miss something? What if something you put in has now deleted and you still got money or accounted or allotted to this? For me, it's easy to change on paper than to sit down and do that. Right. But the goal is, no matter what it is you're doing, do something.
Yeah.
I want you to do something.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you look on my page, I put up there over the weekend, I was having a good time with my post, but execution of some things is better than all of the things you ain't doing.
Yeah.
Whoops. I guess we heard that.
I said it just like that. Okay. Depending on which dictionary you look in, ain't is there.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an urban word. Ain't is an urban word.
Tamika said I started my 2-liter bottle of dimes. Okay, so several years ago, I started them trekking with dimes. They were like, and the reason that I do that, and so this is, I got something coming for them that's going to talk about different ways to do savings challenges. Right? Everybody has to do something different. Okay. And Tamika's children are younger. Okay. So what I want her to do is you ever seen one of those YouTube videos where somebody took a 5-gallon water jug to the bank?
Yeah.
And it was so packed that they had to actually hammer the plastic jar open because they couldn't lift it. Okay. Do you know how much money could be in there? Just mind dropping. Just mind dropping. So I said for them, okay, let's start with something in particular, but we have to be intentional. Right. So 2-liter bottle of dimes, you fill it with dimes, it's $700.
Okay, pause. Wait. The 2-liter?
Fill it up with dimes. You got almost $700 in there.
Okay, that's cute.
You understand? But here's the thing. Most people are not touching them. That's the thing. You have to put it in something where you won't touch it.
Right. Okay.
I got rolls of quarters sitting on my dresser right now. I ain't been to the bank yet. So guess what they're doing? They just sitting there.
They just sit.
But if I go in Walmart and I had a $10 bill, can I just get a roll of quarters? Just one. Thank you. And then I come back the next day and ask somebody else, can I just get a roll of quarters? Just one. Before the week is over, ain't no telling how many rolls of quarters I can just won them. You understand? But it's my goal. Okay. I had my change before I left Birmingham. I counted my change jar, and I have a 5-gallon jug for quarters. Remember those big puff ball jars you get at Sam's? Okay, that held the nickels. The 2-liter had the dime. When I got finished, and the dimes weren't full, but I had almost $1,500 worth of coins.
That's all right.
Okay. And that's emergency money. That helped take care of the move.
All right. I see you. I see you.
Pay quite a few bills in somebody's household.
I got you.
Okay. So the thing is to be creative. I don't care how you save. The goal is that you save. That is what is the most important. So one of the things that we do is we go over the 21-day financial fast by Michelle Singletary. She is a writer for the Washington Post. I absolutely love her. And I love her book and the principles that she teaches. Okay. So this is her book. Okay, this is my backup copy because I misplaced my first one and then I ordered another one and then I found it, and so now I got two. But what I find is that I like a book because I can tag it.
Yeah.
Honey, if I open it up, the pages are yellow. Okay, from all the highlights, and so they say it takes 21 days to create a habit. So on Friday, every Friday, you see me posting the brownstone on my page and Girl Your Money Matters. Dump your change. I don't care how much is in there. Go to the bottom of that purse, dump it out. You had company over the weekend, dump them pants because if they left it, it's yours. It was a donation for the food that they ate. Okay, whatever. Hey, I'm just saying. And if you got kids, oh baby, go through their pocket because 9 times out of 10, whatever you found in there, they took out your purse anyway. Okay, all you need is your money back.
that part.
But once you pull all of that together, you put it in a jar. You would be surprised, out of sight, out of mind, but you would be surprised at how much you save.
Right.
Okay, because you got intentional with it. Okay? I had a family, and we love a big mama, right? We love Big Mama. So she had a large family, and every Sunday for dinner, everybody had to have a change jar at their own home, and they would bring it to Big Mama's house and combine it into one. So this was the money pool. So when Lil Pookie needed some help, Lil Pookie didn't borrow from his brother or his sister. They came to the family pot. So in July, when it was 22 birthdays, they had one party instead of 22 small ones.
Come on, somebody smart.
When it was graduation time, and it was 10 kids graduate. We had one party. We bought one gift, or we divvied up to give small gifts for everybody. No kid left out.
That's right.
Because Mama couldn't do it by herself.
Come on now,
So it's that family pot. And then one of the sons said, well, we're going to have two. We're going to have one we take to Mama house, but we're going to have one here at home. Okay. So you have to be creative with what you're doing, but the point and the goal is to do something. So your budget cannot cause fear. If you take control of the budget, that means you're in control. Right now, your money acting funny. You don't know where it's going. That means the money is in control. And I'm not letting my money control me. Okay? I make it. It don't make me.
Come on.
That's like something they said at the Players Club, ain't it?
I was getting ready to say.
But you ain't heard from me, though.
I love it.
Okay,
don't let it make you. That's right.
So that sentiment is very much true today. So
true.
As always, I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We are closing out October next month, and we're gonna have a great show. I think I'm gonna handle this one solo dolo, you guys, simply because it's Halloween and some of you guys might have little trick-or-treaters coming by. So I won't have that concern. But as we are wrapping up, are there any final words? Let's go to DJ Tony up there in my hometown, Chicago.
Thank you so much. First, let me give a shout out to the Facebook family, man. Thank y'all for the love and the support. Brownstone family, love y'all, man.
Yeah.
Nicole sent me the link the other day, right? I think it was last night. I was like, when is this? Today? You know, and she's like, no.
I got it too. That's what I thought.
Yeah. But I want y'all to first and foremost pray for my city, Chicago. Today, some people got shot and killed at the Greyhound station downtown. You know what I'm saying? Really, really. Over this weekend, 51 people's, just it's just Chicago is just lunacy right now. So I'm asking y'all to pray for my city, man. Pray for me as I pray for you guys. We got to continue to spread love. We got to break these generational curses, man.
Yes, yes.
We just got walked through the difference between good fear and healthy fear. Look, ain't no more fear because you didn't already faced it. Once you spoke it out there, the fear is gone.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nah, let's turn it into an action. And what
Absolutely.
you do is when you commit to it, be true to yourself. Look you in the mirror when you make that commitment.
All right.
That way, if you lie to anybody, you started by lying with yourself.
Come on.
With the man in the mirror.
We all we got, y'all. Love y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Come on now.
Come on, Dad. Wrap us up.
Well, as always, I am appreciative that people would take the time to hang out on the platform. So thank you so much, both to DJ Tony Sanchez and the Nicole Johnson for hanging out at the Brownstone. You guys, don't forget, brownstoneworldwide.com is continuing to grow. We have some advertising packages that you might be interested in. Go ahead and check it out. It's on the main page. Again, brownstoneworldwide.com. And then also make sure that you're keeping it locked for next week's show, because I need to see what Miss Nicole gonna do. That's all. All right. So later on this evening, Marshawn Olanio is coming up next with Love Restored, where she works you through love and relationships. You can go ahead and check her out up next. And then lastly, I'm going to wrap it up this evening with tips, topics, and talk, and then hang out with you all first thing in the morning for news and information that you can use on the day shift. There you go.
Well, as always, thank you so much. I'm so glad to have you here because, girls, your money matters, and it is affectionately known as the gym, where we have all sorts of exercises to help keep you financially fit. My goal is to see you multiply your money, manage your money better, and stop that paycheck to paycheck living. If you stop that, then we can start working on the mindset so we can achieve those big goals, so we can write those big checks. So my kid is going to finish out the semester, but you know what? Their tuition is paid for the semester. Not the drips and drops. We want full streams. And so that is my goal. That is my passion, is to make sure that you guys get in a place where you are financially fit. So since Paulette wants to know what I'm hanging out with, I keep my notes on lock. So we have spent a lot of time. October has been financial planning. And sometimes when we are struggling, we can't see our future clearly. So I'm going to answer this question for you next week in the gym. How do I plan for 2023 when I'm struggling right here in 2022? Okay. So I got some goods for you. And as DJ Tony says, we all we got. I am excited to be able to be here to help change the narrative for the Black people. And you guys, I love you. We will see you guys next week. Have a great night.
Have a good night.